Excellent. Okay, so welcome to my meditation on clearing our chakras. Hello, everyone. So nice to see you. Thanks so much for making the time to come and join me to do this tonight, and to do this for yourself, because there's no mistake that you're here. I always really feel like every person that comes, it's meant to be, because this alignment sort of needs to happen, right? We need to kind of look at chakras. We need to look at energy centers. We need to look at body. We need to look at mind. We need to look at it, just kind of like bring it all together. And I was just saying, Chris, that I was already yabbering, but I hadn't hit record yet, so it's perfect timing. I was just saying there's certain things, like the root chakra is one of the only ones that is actually directly connected to smell. So when we're in the root chakra area, I ask that you actually focus on your nose and try and almost feel the connection between the root and the nose, almost like it's like this cylinder that sort of comes up, and it connects you. And so for grounding and sort of balancing your root chakra, the best thing you can do is smell something. And of course, I'm an essential oil girl, so I take my balance, which is a mixture of like there's some Siberian fir in there, some grounding oils. I actually use separate oils. I'll let you guys know exactly what they are. I have all sorts of stuff planned out for you here. But the balance blend it's just a really grounding sort of meditational type of oil. And by smelling that, you can actually aid your root chakra just from doing simply that. It's actually quite incredible. Vetiver is one that it kind of gives you that feeling of not feeling alone. It gives you that not isolated feeling, kind of helps you feel more in control. And another one is called spikenard. Spikenard is it's actually sort of like an anti-anxiety oil. And it smells like dirty socks. I do not like it, but the thing is people love it. And I don't like it because there's something in it that I need to deal with. And it's really good for being in the victim mentality. Kim's pulling out her oils. There we go. And it's really cool because it actually, with the root chakra, it's the only one that is super, super connected. So that's something that instantly can literally help your body kind of gain control, your mind gain control, and calm anxieties right away, or have a bath with it in it. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with the oils. I often just, spikenard is spelled Spikenard. Spikenard. It's a little bit different. Oh, Lynn's coming in. She's an oil girl too. She's going to be all over this. I'll have to catch her up on those quick. So, Lynn, you hopped in just at the right time. I'm just actually talking about the root chakra and the essential oils that are best for it to sort of help to open it up. So, my favorites for that are spikenard.
Oh, that's expensive, girlfriend.
Oh, yes. Some of them are. They really are. But then you look at, something like sweet orange or something, and it's like 2 pennies per drop. So it's like kind of balances it out. So spikenard, it comes in a little bottle, but you only need like a very little drop. But it is one that will draw people right out of an anxiety attack. I put it in almost all of my anxiety potions that I make for people. And vetiver. So that's a little bit cheaper one, but another root oil. And these all come from the roots of the ground, right? So they have a frequency, and that's why they affect you so easily. And not that I'm, I'm really passionate about essential oils, and a lot of people don't know the certain ones can actually really, really help your root, your certain chakras. But the root is amazing for smelling. It's a direct connection there. And since you guys we're talking about the things that are good for them, the root is also the more red stones. If you think of bloodstone, if you're into crystals, red jasper, which other ones? Oh, garnet, like a red root garnet, and tourmaline, black tourmaline, all those rocks are really good. So it's interesting, if you're even with someone, you can have that rock. I always tuck rocks in my pockets or in my bra. But the root chakra, I actually like to just rest the rock on the area. So the root chakra is the, right where the perineum is, basically right down at the bottom of the body. It's all encompassing around the whole bottom of the pelvis, where the tailbone is, into all of the, the excrement organs, the ones that are going to help sort of purify our body, the bladder. So if that tends to be kind of a locked up area for people, they're going to have trouble with, incontinence, or, even issues with UTIs, things like that. You'll see that if people have a blocked root chakra. And it's as simple as me giving them a little bit of oil, or telling them to go home and lie on a piece of red jasper, right? Or put that rock, you literally just put it on your pelvis and you go to sleep. And that's all you have to do. So I tell people, tuck it in your underwear. Worst thing it's going to do is fall out. Every time I take off my bra, rocks hit the floor at home. The girls are like, oh, Mom, you dropped your rocks again. Like every night. I forget, like I do it every day and I forget. So yeah, anything for elimination, colon cancers, things like that. I do give people these sort of tips, and there's all sorts of stuff. There's particular yoga poses. I have like a whole series on chakra cleaning and clearing, with all of those things in my group, where I could probably end up sharing with you guys if you wanted. It has a little list of all the stuff that is in there, like all my little notes. This is just kind of like my brain dumping and my little notes that I have written down that I that I just sort of take randomly, to just sort of jog my memory. So we're gonna sort of focus on that root chakra a little bit. So how do you know if your root chakra is blocked or open or what, right? So if you're a person that has a lot of anxiety or fear, if that is an issue, that's generally the root chakra. If you have nightmares or night terrors, or just, are deathly afraid of certain things, the root chakra can definitely be sort of locked up or closed, or in fact, when you get too open, it can sort of create imbalance on either way, right? So if it's extreme, we kind of look at it, doesn't really matter if it's closed or open. All we're going to do is balance it out with, cleaning and clearing, because it's the same thing with all of us. We're, things can be way too open, way too closed. They can work way too well, we just want it to be working properly and right and just balanced. And that's the key. It's always about balance, right? So if people have eating disorders, this tends to be locked up in the root chakra too. There's lots of trauma that gets held in the root chakra. There's lots and even for the back. So you're not only that, your sacral plexus is going to be kind of locked up too, right? When it's all so if people have they need hip replacements, if they need, if there's osteoarthritis or breaks, or they've even fallen and really damaged their pelvis, that does in turn lock up that whole energy center too. Because what we do is we lock it away because it's painful. Our bodies, our minds, our souls, they just close it all off, right? Or it's totally embraced and it's all we focus on. And in that case, that's when it's too open. You know what I mean? So like I said, it doesn't really matter, but the color red is associated with that solar plexus. So wear red clothes, buy a red candle, get red sheets, put it, like, just have red around you. It's a way to just kind of put that in your conscious mind. It may even be something that you kind of already do. And you guys will recognize some of these things too, but it does help us to just kind of understand, some of those things that kind of live in our brain about the whole solar plexus. So if with the root in turn here, we tend to need to sort of know, like they always sort of want to hurry up and find out. They don't want to just kind of wait. They can be a little bit impatient. And so I'm always just like, you can kind of just understand that the root is kind of locked up. They really like structure. It's the basis of everything. It's the pillar of your body. It really takes on everything, as well as being totally intertwined with the sexual organs, things like this too. We start to move up a little bit into the solar plexus, but you can just see how complex that area is, and the amount of trauma that can end up going on through there, and the amount of things that happen. And most women have some kind of something going on, whether it's PCOS or just imbalance there, and it a lot of times can be helped with doing a little bit of meditation and a little bit of the oils, the rocks, and giving it a little bit of attention, and truly just, some people actually do, you know, saging, things like this. There's ceremonies for actually releasing your energy centers, but you guys have the power to do this. So this will just kind of help you be able to focus. All you got to do is focus on the area for just a few minutes. And YouTube is awesome. You can look up chakra clearing meditations. There's even guided ones. There's all sorts of stuff, but I'll give you the replay for this too, because we're going to do a quick meditation at the end. So I'm going to just burn through the rest of the energy centers so that you can kind of get a good grasp. So we're going to move up to orange, where we have our sacral plexus. So this is more where the sexual organs are. It starts to kind of come into the bottom of colon. It sort of gets into the tailbone. It kind of goes into like the first three lumbar vertebrae, or the bottom three lumbar vertebrae. So when there are issues locked up more in that sacral plexus, this is where the control kind of comes in, the life control. We feel like we often don't have control because we are we sort of need to enjoy life with all of our senses. This is like this, the solar plexus, or the sacral plexus is really unique because there's so much power in it, because it's kind of like a main thoroughfare. So it moves every time you move. There's almost nothing that you can do where that is not engaged. And so on a physical level, there's all these things happening that are so, so deep. Like, it's absolutely incredible. With this one, I go for my orange oils, like tangerine, clementine, sweet orange. Those are all ones that are going to sort of assist in balancing those energy centers. Also, consuming as much orange and mandarin, and you know, if you just buy a few extra, this, you know, if things are sort of in that area, locked up, pain, you know, that kind of stuff, that's a great way to just support it. If you're feeling with with the solar plexus, it's really, yeah, wild orange or sweet orange. Yeah, I like the sweetness. So we have a blend with doTERRA that's called Citrus Bliss, and it has a little bit of vanilla in there, and it's just like, it literally is a happy oil. It's just absolutely incredible. So this is something that you would put on your feet. You would put it just in a diffuser. It's a really, really good one to smell. Something that you could put on the spine. You can do all that sort of stuff as well with it. But cleaning with it, that kind of thing, it's absolutely incredible. This particular energy center is really neat because breathing is what actually works for it. So I'm going to teach you guys how to, you probably know this already, but a nasal breath. So you literally put your two fingers on your third eye, and you put your thumb on your right nostril and your pinky and your ring finger on your left nostril. So you literally just look like this. So I have my nose pinched and I just put my fingers here. And what we're doing is we are breathing in through our left nostril. So we're going to release our little finger and our ring finger, and we're going to breathe in for a count of 4. And then you put the little finger down and you take the thumb off and you breathe out for 4. So it's literally, all you really have to do is pinch your nose and take one off. You're going to breathe in through the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the left, breathe out through the right. And so if you guys would like, when we're actually doing the sacral plexus, I will suggest doing the pinching nose and just do the nostril breathing for 10 breaths, like basically a count of 10. What that does is basically connects, there's like basically the nervous system, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, everything is right behind the nose. And it essentially starts to kind of open it up. And that connection to breath down into your sacral plexus is really amazing. When we go up to the solar plexus, we're actually going to do some deep breaths in through our nose and out through our nose. And we're going to do that by actually moving our belly and having our bellies almost kind of force the air in and out. It becomes like a really strong breath in and out through our nose. So I'm just kind of giving you guys the heads up, because that's the breath that we're going to switch into when we go into that solar plexus. We're going to do the in and out breath. Sacral plexus, we're going to do the pinched nose. And for root, so what I do in my class for this usually is I get someone to take an essential oil, put it on their hands. So if they have balance, that's the one I recommend. If they have something like Siberian fir or vetiver or spikenard, or if you have any of our blends that are like console or forgive, those are really good ones. Those have a lot of those oils in them. So you would literally roll it on your hand if you have a roller ball, or take a drop, just rub it in your hands, and then you cup it around your nose and mouth, and you just breathe in for about 15 to 20 seconds. So that's kind of how I usually start the session. So even if you guys want, you can do that anytime. But that's something that I do. Yeah, peace would be awesome. That would be beautiful. That's a really good one to sort of start off with. So yeah, definitely when we look into that sacral plexus a little bit more, there's things that sort of like it's like your general wellness, your abundance. So if people are having a hard time with, creating that abundance or that wellness, I know that sacral plexus is usually a little locked up. If they don't want to play, if they're not a person that enjoys games or likes to let themselves go and have a little bit of fun, the sacral plexus is usually sort of a bit of an issue. Self-confidence is there, all sorts of stuff. So I'll go through a few of those things when we're in the meditation, and we're just going to visit some of those emotions and some of those things that you may notice in yourself or in others. For the sacral plexus, one of the oils I really like is actually called pink pepper. And what pink pepper does is it actually heals body image, like shame. It sort of, I won't say heal, but it aids in the comfort with those kind of things. It basically almost helps your brain to turn around and stop feeling that way. It invokes self-confidence. It's like a beautiful, beautiful smell, a beautiful, beautiful oil. And it really, if you don't have pink pepper, patchouli is really good. Tangerine and the orange ones I really like, but I do love, so I'm just gonna make sure I'm not missing you guys in the chat for, oh, it's beautiful. The citrus bliss is literally one of my favorites. It's really a gorgeous one. Okay. So rocks for the sacral plexus, those are your orange rocks, like your calcite, orange collinium, hematite, and amber. So if it's funny, people are like, oh yeah, I went through an amber phase. And I'm like, yeah, because your solar plexus needed the frequency. Like it actually, those rocks, the oils, the same thing, they all have a frequency. So it's like we're tuning the guitar strings. That's all we're really doing today, tuning that orchestra. Even with Magnetic Mind, we sometimes feel like we're, that orchestra that's not playing right, we want to tune our orchestra. We can really try using some of these. So yeah, patchouli is really, really balancing. I absolutely love that one. It just invokes like such good feelings, such positive feelings. It'll kind of help you with fears, addictions. It's a really good one for. Same thing with pink pepper. It's really, really good for things like addiction. So if people are trying to, quit smoking or quit drinking and things like that, I often suggest using pink pepper. So we're going to move up to the solar plexus. Solar plexus is the metabolism. It's kind of like the collection of things that come at us as well, right? So this is where our inner strength is. This is where it's kind of like that inner fire, that motivation. It all sits right in this solar plexus. So this is like right above the belly button, right below the breastbone kind of thing, all in that area. So this is diaphragm, this is breathing, this is where you keep a lot of your musings, like when we can really listen to ourselves. That's that gut feeling. So for this one, we actually kind of just go into the gut a little bit. We do the breathing that we're going to do, that's going to be basically breathing in and out through our nose, just like, it's going to be kind of weird, okay? But it's not just the nose. What we're doing is when we're breathing in, we're expanding our belly and making it big and forcing it out. And when we're breathing out, we're drawing it all in towards our spine, and we're just deflating it. Just you're really gonna like sort of force that air out of the belly. We only do that about 10 times when we move up to the solar plexus. And it can be a little bit gentler than that. It doesn't have to be, crazy. But this is a way of connecting to the divine. This is where if we're feeling victimized, we tend to hold it in there. Shame is a big one that sits in there. So we're going to just kind of go into some of those, like if we have commitment issues, we just kind of like to be free birds. We that kind of thing. So your self-confidence comes from here too. So that's a really one big one to be aware of. And a lot of times, I don't know if you guys have ever even felt this, but people will bend over and they'll almost get like a stitch in their side. And that's that fascia that's like this membrane that's just basically sitting outside of all your muscles. It's like an egg underneath the egg shell. You have that membrane, that's fascia. So there's this fascia that sits all underneath our skin. They have to cut through it for surgeries. They have to poke through it for everything, right? And it gets twisted. So every time we go, every time we take that sharp breath and we get afraid, it twists in that fascia. So it's actually, if we think about our energy systems like that, that's kind of what happens to them. They get this little reaction, so it's really important to kind of notice that those things can really get stuck in different places that we never even thought of sometimes, right? So and there's different signs too, like with solar plexus, the fire is the sign for whereas sacral is water. So being in water is really grounding for sacral plexus. So I get people to go in baths or hot tubs, or even just be around water, look at water, even if you have to just look up water on YouTube. It's like just get around water. Air is better or earth is this root chakra, so getting out into ground and actually walking around. And then the solar plexus, when we get up there, it's fire. So that solar plexus just gets fed by watching a fire. It just, you probably love a fire if you, sort of need some attention in that solar plexus. The other oils that are really good are cedar wood for this one. So I use my Digescent, but I use like cedar wood. I like vetiver too for that one, myrrh, sandalwood, some of those more grounding oils. Lemongrass, lavender, that's a really good one for the solar plexus. So that way, if people have, you happen to have one or two of those oils, you can absolutely take a drop and you can actually just rub it into your belly. I put it in a clockwise motion just because that's kind of way the guts go. So you literally just take a couple drops and just rub it right on your abdomen. And some people, I have them dilute it with coconut oil if it's pure stuff kind of thing, but using a digestive oil or something like lavender, you could put right on your tummy and it just feels so amazing. So yeah, all your stress, your worry, your doubt, all that kind of stuff is going to sit in that solar plexus. So it's going to be really nice to kind of get in there. So we'll acknowledge that a little bit. The rocks for solar plexus are, this is yellow, of course. So we're going into yellow topaz, labradorite, tiger's eye, orange tiger's eye or yellow tiger's eye. Those are beautiful. Sometimes we have necklaces that are made out of them, or we see a ring that's really pretty. Same thing with that. You'd want to have it in your pockets or keep it around you. Again, put it right on your tummy and just actually do a meditation with a rock on your belly. The other neat thing with the solar plexus is that one way to take care of it is by having room temperature drinks instead of way too hot or way too cold. Way too cold is worse. Like ice cubes are not good for a person with a really blocked solar plexus. And not eating big meals. So it's actually, we're supposed to just have like a couple cups of food all the time. Like if your solar plexus is a little locked up, then eating large meals is very, very disturbing to it. It makes it work way too hard. So we do really, really well with not grazing and just having a couple cups of food at a time. So it's kind of a neat little hack there. So we kind of move up in colors. We're going to go up into the heart chakra. So big one. The solar plexus right below it is kind of like, it sort of holds on to the bottom three and the top three. So it's really huge in kind of like the midline of our body. And I notice in Magnetic Mind, we really focus on the crown, we really open things up, and we just kind of bring it down to the bottom, but don't necessarily get down into that root and that sacral. And I feel like they're just aching for some love. So we're gonna that's why I spent so much time on those, because you guys know a lot about the ones that are coming up. So heart chakra, of course, rose is my favorite oil for it, just because it's so healing. The console and the forgive and all those blends are really good too. But rose is the most amazing oil to use for heart healing. If someone's lost someone, that's the one I give them, or my roller that has console. But the rose is absolutely ideal, especially for people that have a river of tears, those people that are really, really strong and don't want to like let it all out. Just, they like, they're the ones that usually would end up just completely bawling on my table, just because it was actually, I would just recognize it because their body holds it, right? There's books like The Body Keeps Score and The Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Mace. That's a super good one. Just sort of tells you exactly what I'm telling you, but it's people have been recognizing this for years. If there's a trauma to the heart, when their heart gets broken, there's a wall that sort of builds up, and there's people that hold, they're I'm never going to feel like that again, and they have the worst shoulder pain in the left hand side and they don't know why. And I'll work on them and their right side feels more sore to them, like to them and to me. The right side's worse, but the left side is what really hurts. And it's crazy, but that is exactly what it is. It's the body kind of hanging on to some of that stuff. So I'm like all over the place here. Sorry, you guys. Heart chakra, just a little passionate about this. The heart chakra is essentially where you are going to have your pink stones, like your rose quartz is really good. Emerald is really good. Malachite, jade. That's a really great one for the heart chakra. So that's a good one to just kind of have tucked in your bra or have a necklace made out of. It really can actually make a big difference for people just having that frequency of those rocks around to be able to kind of balance them out a little bit. The heart chakra is more meditation. That is kind of like the trick with that one, and allowing yourself to do the self-care, the self-love. There's so many emotions. You guys know all of the ones that kind of hang out in the heart. I probably don't have to even end up going through them, but that, compassion, trying to have, if we have inner conflict, that's the biggest one that I see in the heart. And that's usually the one where we're just like, you wake up that day and you're just like, what am I doing? I think I completely did the wrong thing. Like, that inner conflict, it's often just because the heart is a little bit overloaded. And if we can just free up some of that and also free up with some of the resistance, it ends up kind of allowing us to get aligned a little bit better, right? Just to have a little less stuff kind of, right? Yeah. You know what, Kim? I lost my mom like 17 years ago, and I just, since finding Chris's work in the last the last year, it's really started to like open things up where you're in trauma, you're in survival for so many years. I mean, to come out of it, we can maybe even mentally, but physically and emotionally and on our energy centers, they're sometimes behind us, like they're still keeping us safe, because that was big stuff that we do not want to have to go through again. So that, yeah, like that the heart center is just, it's so huge. And what it does is it makes us doubt ourselves, right? Yeah. It does. It totally makes us doubt ourselves. So yeah, this is where self-love comes in. And I don't know if you guys are noticing, self-love is just being rammed down my throat this month. Like, it's everywhere. So with the heart chakra, this is my favorite one. And I've shared this with a few of you, but I ask myself what a person that would love themselves would do. So this is the biggest thing you can do for your heart chakra. So you literally ask yourself that, and you're going to make supper I have a lasagna in the oven for my family. It's not what I intended to cook tonight. My husband's been off on the road all week. I should have had a nice meal cooked, but I was, I had a lot of other things go. I ended up having to kind of go do an emergency massage, and so they eat lasagna. That's okay. That I'm feeding them. It could be a lot worse. It didn't look that appealing, but I that beating ourselves up all the time, it's not that big of a deal. What would I used to have done? I would have done everything and had the meal and probably been trying to do this and having a bunch of other things going on, and I but now it's like I literally said, screw it, I'm taking something out of the freezer and it's going in the oven, and I'm not feeling bad about it. It literally makes me think of things a little bit differently. So that's right down to getting up in the morning and washing your face and just being like, you know what? I look pretty good for 45, just like spending a couple extra minutes, putting a good moisturizing lotion on that, you should have made time to do, or, then just going and taking your vitamins instead of just going and making coffee and scrolling. Like, just what would a person that loved themselves do? Just everything, right? So that's so big for the heart. That's so healing, because we are so compassionate, we're so kind to everyone else, but we really do forget about ourselves sometimes. I love just asking yourself that for the heart chakra. It's a really good opening one. Okay, so I kind of went over the oils for that one. I don't want to end up leaving you guys too long here. Then we're going to move up to the throat chakra. So, oh man, do we know the throat chakra? So we're kind of moved from colors here. We went from yellow to green. Now, as we move up to this throat area, we're going into like sky blue. We're going into like a nice sky blue. And of course, it's also ether. It's not even air, it's ether. It's like beyond. So we're just going to get into, with the throat chakra, actually listening. This is the key thing to kind of help open up that throat chakra, is to listen. Because what people are saying, what ourselves are saying, what those silent instructions are, is what we need to listen to. The throat chakra is also attached to the inner ear chakra. You'll hear us kind of refer to that sometimes, or the Anya center, which is essentially this space that's between the back of the throat and the back of the head. There's like 3 or 4 energy centers in this one area. So that's why it goes from actually like sky blue to like indigo. And the throat chakra is all about listening, because that's going to always give you your answers, and mostly about listening to your inner voice. So the throat chakra and the solar plexus are very, very connected, because it's all about kind of getting into yourself and listening to yourself. So the key to that is really listening, shutting off your phone. That undivided attention for someone and for yourself is huge. And that means meditation. That means spending that time actually kind of getting into your own mind, allowing that shift to happen, allow those feelings. That's sort of what the throat chakra is all about. Of course, you guys know it's all about self-expression, clarity, truth, discerning the truth. So if someone, if it's really closed, they're kind of disengaged, they don't really want to sort of, explore other avenues per se. They're kind of good where they are. The throat chakra is really important for saying what you mean. So a lot of people that were silenced, they both heard things they didn't want to hear and also couldn't say what they wanted to say. So the throat chakra ends up becoming much like a collar as a small child. Unfortunately for most people, it's definitely got some stuff in it. So throat chakra, I end up using a few different oils and rocks. So I end up using sapphire and blue topaz more for the rocks themselves. And then what else do I use? There's more rocks in there. Oh, jade as well, and turquoise. I don't know if you guys ever went through a bit of a turquoise stage. I know I certainly did. That was one that I still love. I absolutely love having turquoise around. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's so healing and so grounding. the throat, the oils I love the best are, I have this blend that has cedarwood and vetiver. It's called Whisper, but the key oils in it are like ylang ylang. There's patchouli in there as well. Any oils that are actually going to sort of expand your consciousness, like frankincense and myrrh, those ones are often used for the throat chakra as well. Pine, I like sort of sticking to kind of like my more leafy type oils. So pine is about as close to the bark as I would use. It's either like root or leaf type trees. So think of that if you have any oils that are around, that would actually end up really helping. And yeah, speech and black pepper. Black pepper is the one that I really loved. I was thinking there's one that I really liked. The black pepper will actually sort of give you clarity. It'll actually really help you to kind of get your, if you're really, one of those people that have really rigid patterns, like you really have a hard time changing a pattern, there's something that you really want to change. It is just like, why can't I change this pattern? Black pepper. And I smell it. I use it in a diffuser. I put it on my feet. It's black pepper. It's exactly what it smells like, but it's really good for that rigidness. And it'll allow you to sort of be able to speak and to listen a little bit easier as well. I'm going to move up to the third eye, because that's a really fun one. So third eye right here, this is essentially all about connecting to source. This is listening. This is sort of about intuition. So if we tend to have trouble, say maybe getting in touch, or if we think, are we just imagining things, that can be the third eye sort of, just kind of working against you there. So once we start to open that, it can actually give you such clarity. It can allow you to sort of connect to source almost instantly. A lot of people talk about once their third eye opens, and I don't know if that really happens. I think, like, again, I'm really about balance and not about completely opening. But what will happen is sometimes our pineal gland will actually be kind of calcified and locked up. So once you start exercising the muscle, it actually allows that pineal gland to expand. The pineal gland's like this little sort of butterfly that's right in the brain. And if it's not expanding and contracting as it should, it gets calcified. And so when people get this like awakening, they almost can't believe it. It literally, you can almost see a white light. So I have people often, when we're in the third eye, what we're going to do is just put our fingers right on our third eye for about 10 seconds and just give it a very gentle pressure with our eyes closed. And we're just going to wait until you end up seeing a light. It's like a little bit of it's almost like I see almost like a starbursty, almost like a weird, like a solar eclipse kind of thing. It's not like a bright light, it's like a shady kind of light. You just wait until you see that light, and then you can release, and it sort of helps to unlock that third eye. It's all about meditation. So there's actually a bee breath. You guys have probably heard or done the Om. So a bee breath is, you put your hands, I'll take my glasses off for this. Put your hands in your ears. I'm not going to make you do all this, but this is how you get your third eye to sort of balance out. You put your thumbs in your ears, and you put your hands, you put your middle fingers on your eyes, and you just kind of rest your pointer fingers on your eyebrow. And then these fingers just kind of come onto your sinus, and you just keep your eyes closed. I know I look weird when I do this. You close your ears with your thumbs, and you go until you sound like a bee buzzing. That's why it's called a bee breath. You literally, it's not about the but it's AUM is the sound that you make. And you're supposed to repeatedly breathe in, and then and so you feel the vibration for 2 minutes. You're supposed to do a bee breath. So oftentimes if I'm not in a middle of a meditation and you like someone's having an anxiety attack or a stress attack, or they have a super bad headache, or they're just super stressed or tensed, I make them do a bee breath with me. We end up laughing because of course you look like idiots when you're sitting in front of someone with your, so we get a little laughter, but then they actually get that vibration that's going to open up the pineal and the pituitary gland and allow the nervous system to shut off from sympathetic into parasympathetic. So you literally want to get out of survival mode. That's how you do it. So I wouldn't recommend it if a tiger or a bear is chasing you. However, if you're at home and you're starting to have a panic attack, I get people to do a bee breath with me. It's really weird. And I have people text me all the time, like, what can I do? I'm like, okay, you got to stick your thumbs in your ears. You got to put your middle fingers on your eyes and you just rest these and just hum until you sound like a bee for 2 minutes. And they usually, I'm like, how are you doing a little while later? They're like, you're not, that worked, but thank you. So the third eye, we have this oil called Serenity. So it's all about kind of the lavender, the relaxing oils. But the one I really like for the third eye is actually lemon. So lemon is kind of like the intuition oil. So I love cleaning with it. I put like a drop in a cup of water in my microwave and I microwave it and it smells really good. And then I just wipe the microwave out and it's like super clean. And I use it on my dishcloths and I put it in the diffuser. Like we've got lemon going all the time. It's actually my daughter's favorite. And she actually has like, she had a really bad birth and had like frontal lobe contusions from, it was terrible. Anyways, it's interesting. She's just always loved lemon and it's the one that expands and helps to heal the frontal lobe issues. So if even for vaccination damage and stuff like that, from previous, not COVID, but that's the one that I would give kids to help heal from that. And they love it. I'd make Play-Doh with it in there so that they could play with it. And it's incredible the stuff you can do with oils. Anyways, then for rocks with the third eye, you're going to look at your amethyst. There's one called lapis lazuli, and it's kind of like this bluey purpley rock. So it's absolutely gorgeous. And azurite's another one, but anything that kind of has that indigo-y purpley kind of color, you can end up sort of resonating with. So it's quite gorgeous. And then we're just going to move up to the crown. So the crown is like, it's beautiful. I love lotus oil. If you can ever find it, it's actually absolutely incredible because the crown is called the energy center of 1,000, like a lotus with 1,000 petals. So that's actually what we're going to imagine in the crown chakra when we're doing the meditation for that. It's absolutely beautiful. There is the one that I like to use is called Elevation. And that again is a blend that had sandalwood. It is very sweet. It has a little bit of the wild orange. So it's kind of like all of those oils that I was talking about with kind of the energy centers coming up. Even lemongrass is absolutely gorgeous for the crown chakra. So, and the other ones that I always recommend are frankincense and myrrh. So talk about expensive. I think I lost Lynn, she was on here. But for the crown chakra, frankincense and myrrh, you literally put a drop on your crown, or I actually have like an anointment oil with frankincense and myrrh, and I just put a little drop on the forehead, and that can actually really help with people even that have things like MS or seizures or things like that. Frankincense is very calming for the nervous system. So I'll have them just literally roll it down their spine. I use it internally. So it's actually something with the ones that I use anyways, with my doTERRA ones, I will absolutely use it internally, but even just sort of putting it on the spine, putting it on the back of the neck, it actually will almost, I've seen tremors stop and slow down even with Parkinson's and stuff like that. Like it's really quite cool. Frankincense is an amazing oil. So top of the head for that. The rocks for the crown, clear quartz are the ones you want to use. Any kind of quartz, actually, if you see, any kind of selenite that you can see almost like the shards, those are beautiful. Amethyst is also a nice one for that, depending if you have like a white amethyst, or there's some stones that have kind of like a bright pink on them. Those ones can sort of correlate with that crown chakra as well. So I often, it's almost like fuchsia type of color at the crown. So it's absolutely gorgeous. So looking for rocks that have that color, that frequency, will end up really making a big difference too. So crown chakra, again, that is when there's a lot of lack of self-control. So I find, especially for people, if I know their crown chakra is a little bit out of whack, it's usually that they are, you know, normally a really enlightened type person, and they're not acting the same as they usually are. You know, those people that can be really positive, usually everything's sort of aligned in the crown chakra when things are actually as they should be. Because with people that have really innate abilities to kind of connect with something like a superconscious, their crown chakra has to be open. It's almost impossible to be able to do our work with a closed crown chakra, but you'll literally see closed-mindedness, or just sort of, there's just almost like no, I think of someone who's almost like really senior and set in their ways, and there's just no, they're set in their ways. There's just no way to try and talk to them about something that's a little bit over what their capacity is. You know, the capacity is they're just not willing to go there. And there's, you know, they don't have to be seniors to have that capacity, but that will be a closed crown chakra. So I you know, that's something that I just kind of pay attention to. So I'm going to go through the meditation with you guys. It's not super long. I won't keep you for 2 hours. I will take like maybe 15 minutes to just kind of move through each one. And we're just going to sort of gently acknowledge each center. And so with a chakra clearing, it's, for some people, they find that lying down is much better, but I do like having you seated just so that you can almost kind of feel physically what's really going on, because we kind of still want to be connected for it. You know, there's it depends on the person. So that's why I don't differentiate if you need to sit down or stand up. What I am going to do is say the most comfortable that you can be. If you are going to be sitting up and you're going to be uncomfortable at all, then by all means just kind of like lie back and relax. If you have a comfortable place that you can sort of be for the next 10-15 minutes, where you can just kind of, we go into, it's not recode by any means. So some people still kind of fall asleep on me during this though, because it is very relaxing. And sometimes those energy centers, again, just like our parts, want to just sort of be treated and just allow things to kind of shut down. So if you're already kind of feeling like you just sort of want to lie down, that's, listen to your gut right now, listen to your intuition and follow whatever that is, as long as you can hear me. I'm going to end up moving this just a little bit closer so that I can be heard by all. Yes, you guys go ahead and put your phones down, get comfy. We're just going to literally sit back and relax for a few minutes here. All right, my beautiful friends, I'm going to have you just take a couple of nice deep breaths with me. And what we're going to do first for this root chakra, first for getting into this meditation, if you have an oil and you haven't used it yet, by all means, go ahead. When you're doing this at home and without me, you can absolutely just even have something going in the background. If you have a candle that's scented, that's nice, it's a nice way to just sort of get that root chakra just connected right away. And I'm going to have you just close your eyes if you haven't yet, and breathing in through your nose, holding it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and breathing out through the mouth. And I want you to just start to feel all of your muscles relaxing as much as possible. And I want you to just take a few nice deep breaths where you're holding it for 4 counts in between, but just breathing naturally. We're going to draw in the red color. We're going to bring a beautiful lotus that looks like a lotus that's almost on fire. And I want you to imagine that beautiful red lotus with its petals just kind of waving, coming to settle right in the middle of your pelvis. And I want you to just notice for a minute if those muscles are tight. Maybe you can relax them. Just pay attention to your glutes and your legs and your calves and your feet. And just allow those muscles to just let go. I want you to imagine for a moment that that little red lotus is just clearing, transmuting, absorbing, and dissipating. Purely transmuting any emotions that don't need to be in there anymore. I want you to just imagine what that would look like right now and what that would feel like. Notice if there's little flutters. And again, notice your muscles. Did they tighten up on you again already? Just let them go. Allow that pelvis to just expand. Allow that tailbone underneath you to just relax. Taking a nice deep breath, I want you to just imagine that lotus looking clean and clear and just welcoming it. Just notice the little anxieties, the little fears, the little things that are just coming up to just be touched by those petals. And watch as the sparkles just dissipate. As anything just brushes against them. And I want you to imagine from that lotus flower, another one is forming and it's moving up slowly to where your tailbone is, right up into your low back in the most beautiful fiery orange color. And I just want you to notice all the relationships and all the emotions that are just ready to touch those petals on this orange lotus. And I want you to notice it just start to float in your lower abdominal area in the most beautiful fiery orange color. I want you to notice that the motivation, the fluidity, the creation, giving and receiving love, vulnerability, we're going to breathe in Breathing in confidence and breathe out. Breathing out guilt. Breathing in sensuality and breathing out rejection. Breathing in creation and breathing out anxiety. And if you can right now, I'd like you to bring your hand to your nose and allow yourself to breathe in through your left nostril first, and then breathe out through your right. Breathe in through your left nostril, out through the right. In through the left nostril, out through the right. In through the left nostril, out through the right. In through the left nostril, out through the right. Do it 2 more times. Just picturing that orange light, that beautiful lotus, just touching any of those emotions. Letting any addictions or any fears of change, any depression, any dysfunctions in that area, any traumas. It's beautiful. And allowing the color to bring to a yellow lotus, birthing from that orange one, just moving up gently right underneath your rib cage, right into your gut. This is your purpose. Your energy, your vitality. Feeling that self-mastery, that motivation to just achieve whatever you want to achieve. Knowing your personal power. Surrendering to the divine and allowing your gut to speak. Allowing any of those emotions, the shame, victim, stress, worry. What are you worried about? Just let it touch those lotus petals. Low self-esteem, the confidence level that just lives here, just let it grow. Let it light up like a sunshine, starting to light up your whole body. You can feel it lighting up down into your lower energy centers, and you can feel it lighting up into your upper energy centers like it's never lit up before. And I want you to just notice that beautiful yellow lotus. Treating anything that's bringing those feelings. Just allowing, knowing it's inside. We're going to take some deep breaths through our belly now for this solar plexus. These breaths are only nasal breaths, just in through the nose and out through the nose, using our stomach, expanding our stomach when we're breathing in, like a big beach ball, and out like it's just deflating, like you just popped it. And in through the nose, out through the nose. We're going to do this 10 times. Nice deep breaths, using that belly. All through the nose, just using that belly, breathing in and out. Beautiful. Just allow that beautiful yellow lotus to do its work. And when you're ready, we're going to encompass that beautiful green, that emerald color. It's going to come up into our heart. It's where all our love and all our connection is, all our forgiveness, all our compassion, our loyalty. I want you to just notice that green lotus start to wave its beautiful petals. It's grown from all of the other hearts, all of the other centers. And I just want you to notice that beautiful green color just taking over your whole chest cavity, just expanding it right into your arms, right into your fingertips, just feeling the expansion when you breathe. It's all just filling. And when you exhale, we're releasing all of those muscles. Allow those chest muscles to relax. Allow your shoulders to let go. And once again, look at your pelvis. Are those muscles tight? Are they relaxed? Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Releasing all your muscles as you do. Allowing that beautiful green color to start filling the whole heart. And allow that lotus to expand as it needs to be. I feel like it's a nice big lotus. As it expands, I want you to just allow it to touch on any of those unconditional contracts you have, or conditional contracts, I should say. Allowing those expectations, any kind of rejection, any kind of grief, any kind of trauma. This is where a lot of the trauma sits. Whatever's safe will come up to touch the lotus, and just allow it. You don't even have to know what it is or see it touch it. You just see the sparks, almost like a bug zapper. And again, I want you to feel that color, that nice deep green, earthy lotus. Any jealousy and betrayal, and just allowing it to be treated. And as we move into the throat, I want you to feel that nice blue sky. You have this new lotus coming forth up into that throat. And as it expands, you feel the need to open your jaw and maybe yawn, or just allow your ears, your chakras to open. to balance. To transmute any of those feelings of not being able to speak your truth, not being able to say what you want to say, having to bite your tongue, not trusting your thoughts. Opening up to your highest self right now, opening up to your spirit guides, really listening. Feeling that oxygen in your cells, and I want you to notice your whole body right now. And as you breathe in, it's almost like that fascia is holding in all that cellular energy, and it's just expanding with every breath and contracting with every breath out. Keeping in what it needs. And allowing what it doesn't to let go. Feeling that expansion now that's spreading up through your nose, through your cheekbones and your eyes, and bringing with it this beautiful purple color, almost like a deep blue sky. And allowing it to just touch your third eye, as you do with your fingers at the moment, that you can right now. Take 2 fingers and just press right between your forehead for about 10 seconds or so, until you can manage to see that white light that's just off in the distant future. We're just holding that until there's just a blink. You don't see it straight, it's just a blink. And releasing and taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. This is where our deep-rooted intuition is. The third eye is just the master of our divinity. This is where we have full mind control. And all we see, the past, present, and future, is clear. This embodies all elements. And I want you to just imagine this lotus just opening in your forehead, enough to just treat the exhaustion. Just let it touch into this lotus, and the confusion and the constant stress. A sense of ease just comes over you. As you allow yourself to feel that inner eye.
I just don't want to hang up on her because there's only like 9 people here. 10.
I'll show very well.
Just want you to just feel that in the third eye. trusting your inner awareness. We're going to allow the crown chakra to experience a color beyond colors. It's purple in its truest form, but it's also almost white. And it has 1,000 petals. And you're going to wear that lotus like a crown. This is where you get your stages of enlightenment. It's like Source can just literally see that lotus opening, that intuition growing, that expansion of consciousness physically happening right now inside of your head. And I want you to just notice the sense of ease that comes over the whole body, letting go any last feelings of self-doubt, self-confidence, just knowing this is that inner knowing. It's not even the gut feeling, it's truly knowing. Releasing any feelings of boredom or fatigue, being so tired. That light is just trying to shine. And it's like you're going to take, almost as though you ordered the most beautiful lotus flower and it's coming to your room service, and knowing that that lotus flower actually comes from the gookiest, muddiest water and bursts the most beautiful flower. You're going to take that lid off of that dinner that just came from room service, like that beautiful big silver platter cover, and you're just going to allow yourself to just take that off and stop hiding from the world. Start allowing your light to be seen. That people are looking for it. So we're just going to, for a moment, just allow all of these colors to come together into this most beautiful white light at the top of our heads. And that white light is going to just bring this beautiful pillar of all of the colors swirling. Like a big tube that just has all these colors, but it's not hard, it's soft and it's spiral and it's just moving. And this is like your sensor, your alignment. You can actually see all the flowers, all the lotuses. They're starting to align in size and shape. There's still some that are a little bigger than others. But all these lotuses you can see now, they're not going off like bug zappers anymore. They're literally just having little sparkles. And I want you for a moment to just do some breathing with me. We're gonna breathe in for the count of 4. We're gonna hold it for 4. And then we're gonna release it for 4 and hold it for 4. So this is a box breath. It's just in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. And if you don't feel like doing that, you can just breathe normally in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to do 4 box breaths. So when you're ready, just want you to imagine all your muscles relaxing. We're going to take these box breaths and we're just going to allow the cylinder inside of us to just align all of our flowers to let those last little sparks come off. And just imagine that you are one with the rest of us on this call, all drops in this ocean, all just aligning our flowers. When you're ready, we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and hold for 4. One last one, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and hold for 4. And now just breathing normally in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to take about 5 big breaths, and I'd like you to breathe in for 4 and out for 8, 6 or 8 if you can. Just breathing out longer than you're breathing in, and just allowing the buzzing to just move through your body. Just allowing all of those flowers to keep becoming aligned. If things were way open, the flower is now settled, all that, almost like lighting a bit of a fire, just burning off any extra energy that was just dispersed, any extra stuff that didn't even have room to get in there anymore, that just filled up the other areas. We're just going to allow that to move through. I want you to just notice if there's any tension in your area, in any area of your body. I want you to think of the color that corresponds, and we're just going to go through the chakras the last time to allow anything else to just be cleared and transmuted and balanced in every center. So right now, I want you to just imagine out of your tailbone, out of the bottom of your tailbone, there are roots just growing deep down into Mother Earth, just grounding you, just deep, deep down into the earth. Being at one with your body and just grounding you, so you can't be ungrounded anymore. You're like a tree that just planted itself. We're going to take that red color and just fill the pelvis and fill all of those organs that need extra attention right now. Pay attention. Are you tensed again in that area? Relaxing those muscles. Noticing that those muscles may be staying tight all the time, and you may need to do this on a regular basis, relaxing every single muscle in your pelvis. And allowing that color to switch over to our beautiful rusty orange as it just climbs up into your solar, into your sacral plexus. That orange color just enveloping your lumbar spine, your whole tailbone across your low back, just encompassing that whole area, just touching on any pain, filling it with healing light, sending our breath right to that area. And feeling that orange color just fill us, almost like it's starting to radiate outside of our bodies and come into almost touching the rest of ours. And allowing that orange to turn into that beautiful yellow that's just going to come up onto your stomach, right above your belly button, underneath your breastbone, and just fill it That's amazing. That confidence just has such space now, that love, that compassion, that balanced self-love. Just allowing that green to remove any last traumas, just sort of aligning all of those flowers. Look at the size of that one. It's almost heavy in your chest. We might just balance it out, not make it smaller, but just allow it to just be in line with the rest of them in size. And then there we go. And just allowing that green to be taken over into the yellow to be taken over into the green. Moving up into the heart. And just allowing that love. And remember, if I loved myself, what would I be doing right now? And remember to embrace meditation and just allow the safety of the heart to just be able to love and be able to lose again. And just allow that. And moving that green color into a beautiful sky blue. And imagine yourself just singing as loud as you can, maybe in the shower. Speaking your truth, hearing the truth, listening to what is being told to you. How many times people said something that if only we had listened. Allowing those ears to just open up. Allowing those glands to start literally contracting and expanding like they need to. There you go. Right into that third eye, bringing up that nice, beautiful, dark blue, deep, deep purple. And bringing out that intuition and actually feeling excited. Not doubtful. You can feel it right now. And just allowing any of that rigidness that was stuck in the throat there, just clear it and do what you need to do. And then take a nice deep breath. Try and breathe into your forehead. Drawing the breath right into that area. And allowing all those lotuses to align. Anything else that's going around in the system to just clear and transmute and disperse. And allowing all energy centers to just open safely as our very top energy center, our crown, opens its 1,000 petals. And just allows that flowing feeling, almost like it's just almost like a cyclone just moving through the energy centers, just like a magic wand, just swirling it. And imagine that beautiful light purple, white, fuchsia type of color at the top of your crown, where it expands into all colors. Like a bunch of butterflies just leaving your scalp right now. And any of those last things that needed to move from the energy centers, they're just gonna flutter away like butterflies. And we're going to feel that swirl of color connect up into the universe. And just take a few nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, I would love for you guys to come back and perhaps maybe share. I usually do this with like either a really, really small group or kind of one-on-ones. So it was quite exciting to see all those, like it was quite intense to see some of the sizes of these crown lotuses and these heart lotuses and some of the ones that were a little bit more closed off. It was like, oh, amazing. I don't know where that whole restaurant thing came up, but I felt like there's this power that's in here that we just need to, like, it was almost like uncovering the lasagna, letting all the steam rise and come out. It's just, that was really, maybe I was smelling dinner, but I really felt some cool shifts go on there. And it's different than Recode. So I'm sure you guys have done meditations before. I try not to.
I just wanted to share with you, Jackie. I don't know, a bunch of people in here don't know who I am. But I just had a spinal stimulator implanted on Wednesday. I've had back issues since I was 22, and it was kind of a last ditch effort kind of a thing. And it went very well. I went in it with great intentions. But I was noticing over the last 2 days, different stuff, like everything kind of shifting. But with this, and the reason I came tonight is I know that I've had stuff locked away in there for so long that I need to get rid of that before I can really expect major healing and great results. And I really felt that tonight. I really felt like I was in control of opening it and moving it, and I was really connected to it. And your voice is so relaxing and so I was drawn completely into it. The oils help tremendously, really, with the grounding. And I did doze off there for a quick second. I'm like, no, I don't want to miss anything. So but I did have to, I had to actually reposition and lay down, because as stuff was releasing, I was getting uncomfortable. So I had to reposition. So I'm so glad I came tonight. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad too. You made my night. I really appreciate that. That's so good. You know, it's like, and even having that invasion through your body into that area, there's a, you know, there's stuff that happens on an energetic level that really, it can really affect us, right? And so if we don't even know it's in there or don't tend to, you know, really tend to it, it just kind of stays, right? And then other stuff,
really
that's
does.
where all
And
that internal scar tissue comes from too.
You talked about the calcification of the third eye, that pineal gland. But I believe that I actually had calcification energetically in my sacrum, in my tailbone, in my emotions that would not let go.
Absolutely.
I've been chipping away at that for a while now, and I just think it's coming to a pinnacle here, so that you know, I can really shed into the world. But
I love this.
You were just so helpful, because you are my contact for my. You were the one person that I look to for my chakras and the oils, and so I'm very Very grateful for you, Jackie.
Oh, I'm so passionate about it. Thank you guys. Thank you, Kim. And thank you for sharing with us, because it's a lot that you've been through, and that's, we are holding space for you for sure. We'll be sending as much good energy as we can. Love you guys. Thank you. If anybody else wants to share, I'm happy to stick around. I know I kept you guys forever. I keep on wanting to do an hour. Like, it's just so much stuff, and I don't want to rush through it. And then I get into the meditation, and there's just some extra stuff that needs to kind of be moved. So I will, I'll stop recording so that I can start it.